discovering valuable coins in the most unexpected places. Some were found in old piggy banks, inherited collections, or rolls of coins from the bank. These discoveries remind us that history is often hidden in everyday objects. Each coin carries a story about the time it was made, the technology used to produce it, and the Lincoln penny itself is more than just currency. It represents more than a century of American history, from the early 20th century to the modern era. Every design change reflects a new chapter in the story of this iconic coin. Collectors continue to search for rare Lincoln pennies because each discovery adds another piece to the puzzle of numismatic history. Every unusual coin tells a story about the minting process and the circumstances that created it. For anyone interested in starting their own coin collection, the best place to begin is with curiosity. Start looking at the coins you already have. Study their dates, mint marks, and designs. Over time you will develop the ability to recognize differences that others might miss. The thrill of the hunt is what makes coin collecting so addictive. At any moment, you could stumble upon a coin that changes everything. So the next time you receive pennies in your change, do not ignore them. Take a closer look. That small copper coin might hold a hidden secret and possibly a surprising value. Sometimes the greatest treasures are the ones that people overlook every single day, and who knows, the next rare Lincoln penny discovery might already be in your pocket right now. This is Coins. Stay curious, keep searching, and never stop exploring the hidden value of the coins around you. Today we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating treasures in the world of coin collecting, the rare Lincoln penny. A tiny copper coin that many people ignore every day could actually be worth a fortune. Some rare Lincoln pennies have sold for hundreds of thousands of dollars, and collectors around the world are constantly searching through pocket change hoping to discover one. Imagine finding a single penny that could change your life financially. It sounds unbelievable, but it has happened before, and it could happen again. The Lincoln penny has a long and incredible story that began more than a century ago. In 1909, the United States introduced a new 1-cent coin to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. This was a historic moment because it was the first time a real American person appeared on a circulating coin. Before that, coins usually featured symbolic figures. The designer of this famous coin was Victor David Brenner, a talented sculptor who created the portrait of Lincoln that still appears on pennies today. When the coin was first released, people were fascinated by the new design. The front side showed the detailed portrait of Abraham Lincoln, while the back displayed 2 wheat stalks surrounding the words 1 cent and United States of America. Because of these wheat stalks, collectors later started calling these coins wheat pennies. Millions of them were produced, but some versions became extremely rare due to mistakes, low mint numbers, or unusual metal compositions. Coin collectors know that rarity is what drives value. A normal penny may only be worth 1 cent, but a rare variation can sell for thousands or even millions. Over time, certain Lincoln pennies became legendary among collectors. Some were created during times of war, some were minting errors, and others were produced in extremely small quantities. One of the most famous examples appeared during World War II. In 1943, copper was needed for the war effort, so the United States Mint changed the penny's metal composition and produced them using steel coated with zinc. These coins looked silver instead of copper. Millions were made, but something unexpected happened. A few leftover copper blanks from the previous year accidentally entered the minting machines. This created the legendary 1943 copper Lincoln penny. Only a tiny number of these coins exist today. Because they were not supposed to be made, collectors consider them one of the greatest minting mistakes in American history. When one of these rare coins appears at auction, it can sell for an astonishing amount of money. Some examples have sold for more than $1 million. Imagine discovering such a coin hidden in an old jar of change. Another famous rarity is the 1955 double-die Lincoln penny. This coin became legendary because of a dramatic minting error that caused the date and lettering to appear doubled. When people looked closely at the coin, the words looked like they had a shadow or duplicate image. Instead of destroying the coins, many of them accidentally entered circulation. Today collectors eagerly search for these coins because they are highly valuable. over the decades the Lincoln penny design changed several times. In 1959, the wheat stalk design was replaced with the Lincoln Memorial on the back of the coin. This design honored the famous monument in Washington, D.C. For the first time, Lincoln appeared on both sides of the coin because his statue could be seen inside the memorial building. This design continued for many years and became familiar to generations of Americans. Then in 2009, a special series of Lincoln pennies was released to celebrate the 200th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. These coins featured 4 different reverse designs that represented different stages of Lincoln's life. Collectors were excited by this series because it told the story of Lincoln's journey from humble beginnings to becoming one of the most respected presidents in history. Now let us talk about the modern market value of rare Lincoln pennies. The coin collecting market has grown enormously in recent years. Online auctions, professional grading services, and global collectors have increased demand for rare coins. Because of this demand, certain Lincoln pennies can reach astonishing prices when sold to collectors. Some rare specimens have reached values close to extraordinary numbers. Certain extremely rare Lincoln pennies, depending on condition, rarity, and historical significance, can reach values approaching hundreds of thousands of dollars. In some cases, collectors estimate values reaching incredible figures such as $787,976.43. While not every penny will reach that level, the possibility of finding a rare coin keeps collectors searching every day. Condition plays a massive role in determining a coin's value. A coin that looks shiny, with clear details and minimal wear, will usually be worth far more than a worn example. Professional grading companies carefully examine coins under magnification and assign them a grade that represents their condition. High-grade coins often sell for dramatically higher prices. Collectors also examine mint marks carefully. Small letters under the date indicate where a coin was produced. Coins minted in Philadelphia usually have no mark, while those from Denver carry a D and those from San Francisco carry an S. Sometimes certain mint locations produced fewer coins, making those versions rarer and more valuable. Another factor that increases value is minting errors. These errors can include doubled letters, off-center strikes, wrong metal compositions, or other unusual features. Collectors love error coins because they are unique pieces of minting history. Even a small mistake can transform an ordinary penny into a collector's treasure. The year 2013 also produced Lincoln pennies that collectors study closely today. While most 2013 pennies are common, collectors still inspect them carefully, looking for rare errors or unusual variations. Sometimes a small minting mistake from a modern year can suddenly become valuable decades later when collectors realize how rare it is. The excitement of coin collecting comes from the possibility that valuable coins might still be hiding in everyday places. Many people have discovered rare coins inside old piggy banks, forgotten jars, inherited collections, or even loose change from a store. Every coin has a story, and sometimes that story includes incredible value. Experienced collectors recommend checking every penny carefully. Look at the date, the mint mark, and the overall condition. Use a magnifying glass if possible. Compare your coins with known rare varieties. Even a small detail could make the difference between a common coin and a rare collectible. The Lincoln penny remains one of the most beloved coins in American history. It has survived wars, economic changes, and many design updates. For more than a century it has circulated through millions of hands, quietly carrying pieces of history from one generation to the next. What makes the Lincoln penny truly special is that it connects everyday people with history. A small coin can remind us of Abraham Lincoln's legacy, the struggles of wartime America, and the artistry of coin design. For collectors, each penny is like a small historical artifact. Around the world, collectors continue to search for the next great discovery. Auctions feature rare Lincoln pennies that sell for remarkable amounts, and stories of incredible finds continue to inspire new collectors every year. The dream of finding a rare coin worth hundreds of thousands of dollars keeps the hunt alive. So next time you see a penny, do not ignore it. Take a moment to look at it carefully. That tiny coin might carry a rare error, a valuable mint mark, or a piece of history that collectors are searching for. One small discovery could turn an ordinary day into an unforgettable moment. Thank you for watching the channel Coins. If you enjoy learning about rare coins, hidden treasures, and fascinating stories from the world of collecting, make sure to stay with us for more incredible discoveries. Because the next rare Lincoln penny could be waiting anywhere, even in your pocket right now. Today we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating stories in the world of coin collecting. A coin that many people have seen, many people have spent, and many people may even have sitting in a jar at home without realizing its potential value. We are talking about the Lincoln penny, and more specifically the mysterious and highly searched 2017 Lincoln penny and the rare variations that collectors around the world are hunting for. Some reports and collector rumors even claim values reaching incredible numbers such as $787,976.42 under certain rare circumstances. So stay with me because the history, the rarity, and the possible value of this coin might surprise you. The Lincoln penny is one of the most recognizable coins ever produced in the United States. First introduced in 1909, it was created to honor the 100th anniversary of the birth of President Abraham Lincoln. Before that time, it was very unusual for a real historical figure to appear on everyday circulating coins in the United States. The design was created by sculptor Victor David Brenner, and it became the first regular U.S. coin to feature the portrait of an actual person rather than symbolic imagery. Over the decades, the Lincoln penny has gone through several design changes. From the original wheat ears design on the reverse, which lasted from 1909 until 1958, to the Lincoln Memorial design used from 1959 until 2008, and then later to the shield design starting in 2010. Each design era has produced coins that collectors treasure. Some are valuable because of age, others because of limited mintages, and many because of minting errors that make them unique. Now let's move forward to the modern era and focus on the 2017 Lincoln penny. The letter D under the date means the coin was produced at the Denver Mint. Every year millions of pennies are struck at different mint locations including Philadelphia, Denver, and sometimes San Francisco for special editions. The Denver Mint is known for producing billions of coins that circulate across the United States. At first glance, the 2017 penny looks completely ordinary. It features the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln facing right on the front. Above his head is the word liberty on the left side, the phrase "In God We Trust" at the top, and the year 2017 along with the small d mint mark indicating Denver. On the reverse side is the modern Union Shield design representing the strength and unity of the United States. Most people would assume that a penny made only a few years ago could not possibly be rare or valuable. After all, billions were produced. However, coin collecting has always been full of surprises. Sometimes a small detail, a tiny minting mistake, or a unique variation can turn an ordinary coin into something collectors are willing to pay hundreds, thousands, or even hundreds of thousands of dollars for. One of the main reasons collectors search for the 2017 Lincoln penny is the possibility of minting errors. Errors happen during the manufacturing process when something goes slightly wrong with the dies, the metal planchets, or the striking process. These mistakes can create doubled letters, missing design elements, off-center strikes, or unusual metal compositions. A double die error is one of the most famous types. This happens when the die that stamps the design onto the coin receives a double impression during the creation process. When this occurs, the letters or numbers may appear slightly duplicated or blurred. To the average person it may look like a small defect, but to collectors it can be extremely valuable. Another type of error collectors look for is an off-center strike. When a coin is struck off-center, part of the design is missing because the blank metal planchet was not perfectly aligned when the coin was stamped. Some off-center coins are only slightly misaligned, while others show dramatic shifts where a large portion of the design is missing. The more dramatic and visually striking the error, the more valuable the coin can become. There are also coins that are struck on the wrong metal planchet. For example, if a penny design were accidentally struck on a planchet intended for another denomination, such as a dime or a foreign coin, the result would be an extremely rare mint error. These types of coins are among the most exciting discoveries in the collecting world. The 2017 Lincoln penny is particularly interesting because collectors have reported examples with strong die cracks, unusual doubling, and other small anomalies. While most of these coins are only worth a few dollars to collectors, certain rare combinations of errors could push values much higher. Another factor that affects the value of a coin is its condition. Coin collectors use a grading scale to determine how well preserved a coin is. A coin that has circulated for years may have scratches, worn details, and dull surfaces. These coins are usually worth only their face value. However, a coin that remains in mint condition with sharp details, bright luster, and no visible wear can be worth significantly more. Coins graded in the highest levels of preservation are often called mint state coins. These are the examples that collectors compete to acquire. If a rare mint error appears on a coin that is also in near perfect condition, the value can rise dramatically. Auction houses have seen modern pennies sell for thousands of dollars when they combine rarity, error characteristics, and exceptional preservation. Now let's talk about the number that has caught the attention of many collectors online, the figure $787,976.42. While values this high are extremely rare and usually associated with historically significant coins, stories like this often spark the curiosity of collectors everywhere. Sometimes such numbers represent estimated combined auction values of extremely rare specimens or hypothetical values based on unique error discoveries. Throughout history there have been pennies that shocked the collecting world with their price tags. One of the most famous is the 1943 bronze Lincoln cent, a coin that was accidentally struck in copper instead of steel during World War II. Only a handful are known to exist, and some have sold for over $1 million at auction. Another legendary coin is the 1909 South VDB Lincoln Center, one of the earliest Lincoln pennies ever produced. Because of its limited production and historical significance, collectors have been searching for this coin for more than a century. High-grade examples can sell for thousands of dollars. These famous coins remind collectors that even the smallest denomination can carry extraordinary value if the right combination of rarity, history, and condition is present. So what should you do if you want to search for a valuable 2017 Lincoln penny? The first step is to start checking your pocket change, coin jars, and old collections. Look carefully at the date and mint mark. Use a magnifying glass or coin loupe to examine the letters and numbers closely. Check for doubling in the words Liberty or In God We Trust. Look for unusual lines or cracks across the surface of the coin that might indicate die damage. Examine whether the coin appears off-center or if the rim is uneven. Also pay attention to the overall color and shine of the coin. A bright, well-preserved penny with strong luster is always more desirable to collectors than a heavily worn example. If you believe you have discovered an unusual coin, the next step is to have it evaluated by a professional coin grading service or a reputable coin dealer. Experts can confirm whether the coin contains a genuine mint error or rare variety. The excitement of coin collecting lies in the possibility that treasure could be hiding in plain sight. Every day millions of pennies move through cash registers, wallets, and piggy banks. Most will remain ordinary coins worth just 1 cent, but occasionally one will stand out as something truly special. That is why collectors continue to search rolls of pennies from banks, attend coin shows, and study minting varieties year after year. The thrill of discovering a rare coin never disappears. The 2017 Lincoln penny reminds us that even modern coins can capture the imagination of collectors. Whether it is a small mint error, an unusual variety, or simply a perfectly preserved example, these coins represent a small piece of history that people can hold in their hands, and who knows, somewhere out there a rare variation may still be waiting to be discovered in circulation. A coin that someone once ignored might one day surprise the world with its value. So next time you receive a handful of change, take a moment before spending it. Look closely at those pennies. Examine the dates, the mint marks, and the tiny details in the design, because sometimes the smallest coin can carry the biggest story. If you enjoy learning about rare coins and hidden treasures like the Lincoln penny, make sure to subscribe to the channel Coins for more fascinating discoveries, coin history, and collecting tips. Today we are diving into one of the most fascinating stories in the world of coin collecting, the mysterious and incredibly rare Lincoln penny that collectors around the world search for every single day. Many people carry pennies in their pockets without ever realizing that one small copper coin could potentially be worth a fortune. Imagine holding a simple penny and discovering that collectors might pay thousands, even hundreds of thousands of dollars for it. That is the magic of rare coins. The Lincoln penny has one of the longest and most interesting histories in American coinage. It was first introduced in 1909 to honor President Abraham Lincoln. This was the first United States coin to feature a real historical figure instead of symbolic imagery. Before that time, American coins usually displayed images like Lady Liberty or other symbolic designs. The introduction of Lincoln on the penny changed coin design forever. The original design was created by Victor David Brenner. On the front of the coin you see the portrait of Abraham Lincoln facing to the right. Around the portrait are the words "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the year of minting. On the back of the early pennies there were two wheat stalks framing the words 1 cent and United States of America. Because of those wheat stalks, collectors call them wheat pennies. Over the decades, the design changed several times, but Lincoln remained the central figure. By the 1970s, the reverse side of the penny had changed to the Lincoln Memorial design. This design showed the famous monument in Washington, D.C. If you look closely at that coin, you can even see a tiny image of Lincoln sitting inside the memorial. That tiny detail amazed collectors and artists alike. Now let us talk about the year that has fascinated collectors for decades, 1973. At first glance, a 1973 Lincoln penny might look like an ordinary coin. Millions of them were produced and circulated across the United States. But in the world of coin collecting, small differences can turn an ordinary coin into an extremely rare treasure. One reason collectors search for 1973 pennies is because of mint errors. A mint error happens when something unusual occurs during the coin production process. This could include double strikes, off-center designs, wrong metal mixtures, or misprinted letters and numbers. These errors are not supposed to happen, but when they do, they create coins that collectors value highly. One famous type of error is the double die. This occurs when the coin design is accidentally stamped twice in slightly different positions. The result is a doubling effect on the letters or numbers. If you examine a coin carefully and see the date or lettering slightly doubled, that could be a sign of a valuable error coin. Another rare variation collectors look for is an off-center strike. During the minting process, if the coin blank is not perfectly aligned with the die, the design may appear shifted to one side. Some coins show only half of the design while the rest of the metal remains blank. These off-center coins are fascinating because they clearly show the minting mistake. The metal composition of pennies has also changed over time. Before 1982, most pennies were made mostly from copper. After 1982, the composition switched to mostly zinc with a thin copper coating. Because of this change, older copper pennies often have higher collector value and sometimes even higher metal value. When collectors talk about rare coins, condition is everything. A coin that has been heavily used and scratched will be worth far less than one that has been preserved carefully. Coin collectors use grading systems to describe condition. Coins can range from poor condition all the way to mint state condition, which means the coin looks almost exactly as it did when it left the mint. A 1973 Lincoln penny in average circulated condition might only be worth a few cents. But a coin in pristine mint condition can be worth far more. If that coin also contains a rare mint error, the value can increase dramatically. Collectors also pay attention to the mint mark. A small letter below the date shows where the coin was produced. Coins may come from Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco. Each mint produced different quantities, and sometimes a certain mint produced fewer coins than others. Those lower mint numbers can increase rarity. For example, a coin with an S mint mark from San Francisco might have been produced in smaller quantities compared to others. This can make certain coins more desirable to collectors trying to complete their collections. Now imagine a scenario where a 1973 penny has multiple rare characteristics. Perhaps it was struck slightly off-center, shows a doubling error, and has remained in near-perfect condition for decades. That combination can create a coin that collectors compete for at auctions. Over the years, rare coins have sold for astonishing prices. Auctions sometimes reveal hidden treasures that people once kept in jars or drawers without realizing their value. Stories circulate of people finding valuable pennies in pocket change, inherited collections, or even old piggy banks. When a rare coin appears in a major auction, professional collectors and investors often compete fiercely to acquire it. The final price can climb rapidly as bids increase. That is how some coins reach incredible values that surprise the public. A value like $787,976.48 sounds unbelievable for a single penny. But in the rare coin market, extraordinary pieces sometimes reach astonishing prices because of rarity, demand, and historical importance. Collectors are not only buying metal. They are buying history. Each coin tells a story about the time it was produced, the people who designed it, and the journey it took through circulation. Some coins may have passed through thousands of hands before finally ending up in a collector's display case. Rare coins also attract investors who view them as long-term assets. Just like art or rare stamps, valuable coins can appreciate in value over time. As more collectors enter the hobby, the demand for rare examples increases. That is why experienced collectors carefully examine every coin they encounter. They use magnifying glasses, microscopes, and specialized lighting to inspect tiny details. Even a small difference in lettering or alignment can make a huge difference in value. If you ever want to search for valuable pennies yourself, start by looking closely at the date and mint mark. Examine the coin under bright light and check for doubling, unusual spacing, or off-center strikes. Compare your coin with images of known error coins to see if there are similarities. Keep in mind that not every unusual coin will be worth thousands of dollars. But the thrill of searching is part of the excitement of coin collecting. Every coin has the potential to surprise you. The world of Lincoln pennies is filled with legendary rarities. Some collectors spend years hunting for specific dates or error varieties. When they finally find one, the excitement is unforgettable. That is why coin collecting continues to grow as a hobby around the world. It combines history, art, economics, and the excitement of treasure hunting. Even the smallest coin can hold a remarkable story. Imagine checking your change after a simple purchase and discovering that one of those pennies might be rare. That moment of discovery is what keeps collectors searching day after day. So the next time you see a Lincoln penny dated 1973, do not ignore it. Take a closer look. Examine the details carefully. You might just be holding a small piece of history that could be worth far more than its face value. Thank you for watching the channel Coins. If you enjoy learning about rare coins, hidden treasures, and fascinating stories from the world of numismatics, make sure to subscribe and stay tuned for more incredible discoveries in the amazing world of coins. Welcome back to the Rare Lincoln Penny Coins. Today we are diving into one of the most fascinating coins collectors talk about all over the world, the legendary Lincoln penny, especially the mysterious 1973 Lincoln penny that many people believe could be worth a fortune. Imagine holding in your hand a coin that looks ordinary, something you might receive as change at a shop or find lying forgotten in an old drawer. Most people would never look at it twice. But what if that tiny coin was secretly worth thousands, or even hundreds of thousands of dollars? That is the fascinating world of coin collecting, where history, rarity, and small details can turn a single penny into a treasure. The story of the Lincoln penny begins more than a century ago. In 1909, the United States introduced a new coin designed to celebrate the 100th birthday of one of the most respected presidents in American history, Abraham Lincoln. For the first time in U.S. history, a real person appeared on a circulating coin. The design was created by sculptor Victor David Brenner, whose portrait of Lincoln became one of the most recognizable images in American currency. Since then, billions of Lincoln pennies have been produced by the United States Mint. Most of them are worth only 1 cent. But some rare versions, mint errors, and extremely well-preserved examples can become incredibly valuable. Now let's travel to the year 1973. During that time, the United States Mint produced Lincoln pennies in several locations including Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Millions and millions of pennies were struck that year, but hidden among those millions were a few coins that caught the attention of collectors. The 1973 Lincoln penny belongs to the series known as the Lincoln Memorial Cent. On the front of the coin you see the calm, thoughtful portrait of Abraham Lincoln. On the back appears the famous Lincoln Memorial Building, a symbol of American history and respect for one of the nation's most influential leaders. All 1973 pennies may appear identical. But coin collectors know that tiny details can make a huge difference in value. The condition of the coin, the mint mark, the strike quality, and possible minting errors can dramatically increase the value. For example, coins minted in perfect uncirculated condition, what collectors call mint state, can be worth far more than coins that have been used in circulation. A regular circulated 1973 Lincoln penny might only be worth a few cents. But a perfectly preserved example graded at the highest levels by professional grading services can reach hundreds or even thousands of dollars at auctions. Sometimes rare minting errors appear. These errors can include double strikes, off-center designs, or unusual metal compositions. When collectors discover these mistakes, the coins become extremely desirable because they are unique pieces of minting history. One of the most exciting moments for collectors is discovering that a coin they already own might be rare. People often search through jars of old coins, inherited collections, or rolls from banks hoping to find something special. Many amazing discoveries have happened exactly this way. Now you might wonder about the extraordinary number often mentioned online, values reaching hundreds of thousands of dollars, such as $787,976.49. Numbers like these usually appear when a coin is extremely rare, historically significant, or graded in near-perfect condition by experts. Auction houses sometimes record astonishing results when two determined collectors compete for a single rare coin. Professional grading companies such as Professional Coin Grading Service and Numismatic Guarantee Company carefully examine coins under magnification. They assign grades based on tiny marks, luster, strike quality, and overall preservation. A small difference in grade can mean a huge difference in price. Collectors also pay close attention to mint marks. A tiny letter under the year of the coin can show where it was produced. Coins without a mint mark usually come from Philadelphia, while coins with a small d come from Denver and those with an S come from San Francisco. Each mint produced different quantities, and sometimes one mint becomes rarer than the others. Another important factor is demand. The Lincoln Penny series is one of the most widely collected coin series in the world. Millions of collectors try to complete full sets, which means certain dates become harder to find in high condition. Over time, as coins are lost, damaged, or melted, the number of surviving high-quality examples decreases. That is why collectors are always searching for well-preserved coins hidden in old collections. Imagine opening an old box from your grandparents and finding a small envelope filled with coins from decades ago. Among them could be a shiny 1973 Lincoln penny that was never spent. If that coin remained untouched for 50 years, it might still have its original mint luster, something collectors love to see. Stories like this are what make coin collecting so exciting. Every coin carries history. It may have passed through thousands of hands, traveled across cities, or rested quietly in a forgotten drawer for decades. The Lincoln penny itself has seen many design changes throughout history. From the original wheat ears reversed to the Lincoln Memorial design and later the modern shield design, each era tells part of the American story. Even though the 1973 Lincoln penny was produced in large numbers, exceptional examples still attract attention from collectors and dealers. Coins with beautiful red copper color, strong details, and perfect surfaces are especially valuable. Collectors describe these coins using terms like red, red-brown, or brown depending on how much of the original copper color remains. A bright red coin that has been preserved carefully since the day it was minted can be far more desirable than one that has darkened with age. Auctions for rare coins sometimes create incredible excitement. Bidders from around the world participate, hoping to add a special piece to their collections. When a rare Lincoln penny appears, the competition can drive prices far higher than expected. Many collectors start with simple pocket change searches. They examine coins under magnifying glasses looking for unusual marks, doubled letters, or strange designs that could indicate a minting error. The thrill of discovery keeps collectors searching again and again. Coin collecting is not only about money. It is also about history, art, and curiosity. Each coin represents a small piece of the past, a moment frozen in metal. A tiny penny minted in 1973 may have witnessed decades of history. It might have been used to buy candy, dropped into a savings jar, or stored carefully by someone who believed it might become valuable one day. Today, collectors continue to study and search for rare Lincoln pennies. Books, price guides, and online communities help people learn how to identify valuable coins and understand the details that matter. If you ever come across a 1973 Lincoln penny, take a closer look before spending it. Examine the surface, the shine, the mint mark, and the overall condition. Sometimes the smallest details reveal the biggest surprises. Many valuable coins have been discovered by ordinary people who simply paid attention to the coins they already had. A simple habit of checking pocket change can sometimes lead to incredible discoveries. The world of rare coins proves that even the smallest object can carry enormous value. A single penny might seem insignificant, yet in the right condition and with the right characteristics it can become a prized collectible. That is why collectors around the world continue searching through jars, boxes, and bankrolls hoping to uncover the next hidden treasure. And who knows, somewhere out there, a rare Lincoln penny from 1973 could still be waiting quietly in someone's pocket, ready to surprise the person who finally notices its hidden value. If you enjoy discovering the secrets of rare coins and hidden treasures, stay connected with Coins for more incredible stories from the fascinating world of coin collecting. Today we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating and mysterious coins collectors love to talk about. A small copper coin that many people ignore every single day might actually be worth an incredible amount of money. Imagine checking your pocket change and discovering a rare 1983 Lincoln penny that collectors dream about. Some rare variations of this coin have been rumored to reach astonishing values in the collector market, sometimes discussed in ranges approaching hundreds of thousands of dollars depending on condition, rarity, and minting errors. The story of the Lincoln penny begins more than a century ago. In 1909, the United States introduced this historic coin to celebrate the 100th anniversary of the birth of Abraham Lincoln. It became the first regular U.S. coin to feature a real person instead of a symbolic image. The design was created by the talented sculptor Victor David Brenner, whose initials VDB became famous among collectors. From that moment on, the Lincoln penny became one of the most collected coins in the world. Millions of people started saving them, checking dates, looking for mint marks, and searching for rare errors. Over time the penny became more than just money. It became a historical artifact, a collector's treasure, and sometimes a hidden fortune waiting to be discovered. Fast forward to the early 1980s. Rising metal prices forced the United States Mint to change the composition of the penny. Before 1982, pennies were made mostly of copper. But starting in 1982 and continuing in 1983, the mint switched to a zinc core with a thin copper coating. This change created confusion and rare variations that collectors still hunt for today. This is where the legendary 1983 Lincoln penny story begins. Most 1983 pennies were produced with the zinc composition, but rare minting mistakes and unusual variations sometimes appeared. Some coins were struck incorrectly, some had doubled designs, and others were struck on the wrong metal planchets. These unusual mistakes can transform a simple 1-cent coin into a valuable collector's item. One of the most talked about examples is the famous 1983 doubled die reverse Lincoln penny. This coin shows clear doubling on the reverse lettering, especially in the words 1 cent and United States of America. When magnified, the letters appear doubled because of a mistake during the die creation process. Collectors immediately recognized how rare this error was. Only a small number of these coins entered circulation before the mistake was noticed. Today these coins are among the most exciting discoveries a coin hunter can make while searching through pocket change or coin rolls. The value of such a coin depends heavily on its condition. Coins are graded using professional standards ranging from heavily circulated to pristine mint state. A coin that has been preserved without scratches, corrosion, or heavy wear can be worth dramatically more than one that has been used for decades. Professional grading companies like Professional Coin Grading Service and Numismatic Guarantee Company carefully examine rare coins. They check authenticity, evaluate condition, and assign a grade. Once certified, a coin's value in the market becomes easier to determine. some high-grade examples of rare Lincoln pennies have sold for tens of thousands of dollars at auction. Collectors compete fiercely when a rare specimen appears in exceptional condition. In rare cases, rumors and speculative estimates have suggested that extremely unique versions could reach extraordinary valuations, sometimes talked about in figures approaching massive numbers like hundreds of thousands depending on rarity and market demand. But what makes collectors so passionate about this tiny coin? The answer lies in history, rarity, and the thrill of discovery. Every coin tells a story. Each scratch, each design detail, and each mint mark represents a moment in time when the coin was created and circulated among people across the country. The reverse side of older Lincoln pennies originally featured 2 wheat stalks surrounding the words 1 cent. This design became known as the wheat penny and remained in use until 1958. In 1959 the design changed to the Lincoln Memorial, which continued until 2008. During the Memorial era, including 1983, billions of pennies were produced, yet only a tiny fraction contain rare errors that collectors value highly. Many coin hunters spend hours searching bank rolls, old jars, and inherited coin collections hoping to find a valuable penny. Sometimes these discoveries happen in the most surprising places. A coin sitting unnoticed in a drawer for decades can suddenly become the highlight of a collector's career. Lighting, magnification, and careful inspection are essential tools for collectors. Under magnification, the doubled lettering of the rare 1983 error coin becomes clearly visible. The lines appear slightly separated, almost like a shadow behind each letter. This unique feature confirms that the coin was struck with a double die. The excitement surrounding rare coins continues to grow because people love the idea that treasure might still be hiding in everyday circulation. A penny that once bought a piece of candy decades ago could now be worth thousands or even more to the right collector. Another fascinating aspect of coin collecting is how market demand changes over time. A coin considered common today may become rare tomorrow if collectors suddenly realize that only a few high-quality examples remain. Auctions, collector demand, and historical interest all influence how prices evolve in the coin market. The Lincoln penny remains one of the most iconic coins ever produced in the United States. Its long history connects generations of Americans who have carried the coin in their pockets, saved it in jars, and passed it down through families. For collectors, the thrill never ends. Every time they examine a new coin, there is a possibility of discovering something special. A rare date. A minting error. A unique variation that transforms an ordinary coin into a remarkable collectible. So the next time you see a penny lying on the ground or sitting in your change, take a closer look. Check the date carefully. Look at the lettering on the reverse. Examine the condition and details. You might be holding a piece of history that collectors around the world would love to own. The journey of the 1983 Lincoln penny reminds us that even the smallest objects can carry incredible stories. A simple 1-cent coin, produced by the billions, can still hide rare treasures waiting to be discovered by someone curious enough to look closely, and that is the magic of coin collecting. History, mystery, discovery, and the possibility that something extraordinary might already be in your pocket. If you enjoy rare coin stories and hidden treasure discoveries, stay connected with coins because the world of numismatics is full of surprises. Every coin has a story, and sometimes that story can be worth far more than 1 cent. Today we are diving into one fascinating coin that collectors continue to search for every single day. The 1995 Lincoln penny. At first glance it looks like any normal coin you might find in your pocket change, but in the world of coin collecting, certain rare varieties of this penny can be extremely valuable. The story begins with the famous Abraham Lincoln portrait that appears on the Lincoln penny. The coin design was created by Victor David Brenner and first introduced in 1909 to celebrate Lincoln's 100th birthday. It was the first regular circulating United States coin to feature a real historical figure. Since that moment, the Lincoln penny has become one of the most collected coins in the world. The 1995 penny belongs to the long-running Lincoln cent series produced by the United States Mint. Millions of these coins were struck that year at different mint locations. Most of them are only worth 1 cent, but a small number were produced with a special minting error that collectors call the 1995 double die obverse. This is where the story becomes exciting. During the minting process, a small mistake occurred when the coin die was created. Because of that mistake, some coins show noticeable doubling in the letters on the front of the coin. If you look closely at the words Liberty and In God We Trust, the letters appear doubled or slightly shadowed. This doubling is not damage. It is a real mint error created during production, and collectors love mint errors because they are rare. When the double die version of the 1995 Lincoln penny was discovered, collectors quickly began searching their coin jars and pocket change. Suddenly a simple penny became a treasure hunt. The excitement grew as people realized that these coins were not extremely common. Most regular 1995 pennies are only worth face value. But the rare double die version can be worth much more depending on its condition. In circulated condition it may sell for several dollars to several $100s. In uncirculated condition with sharp details and bright red copper color, the value can climb dramatically. Some extremely high-grade examples graded by professional services like Professional Coin Grading Service and Numismatic Guarantee Company have sold for thousands of dollars at auction. The better the condition, the higher the price collectors are willing to pay. In the coin collecting market, condition is everything. A coin that has scratches, wear, or discoloration may still be interesting but will not reach the highest values. On the other hand, a coin that looks almost brand new after decades can command a strong premium. Collectors call this mint state condition. The current market for rare Lincoln pennies continues to grow as more collectors enter the hobby. Online marketplaces, auctions, and coin dealers constantly buy and sell these pieces. Prices change depending on demand, rarity, and condition. Some sensational headlines online mention extremely high numbers like hundreds of thousands of dollars for rare pennies. While most 1995 pennies will never reach such a massive value, certain rare Lincoln cents throughout history have sold for enormous amounts. These stories inspire collectors to keep searching through old coins. The Lincoln penny series itself is filled with famous rarities. Coins like the 1909 SVDB Lincoln cent, the 1914 D Lincoln cent, and the legendary 1943 copper Lincoln cent have become icons in the coin collecting world. These rare coins can sell for tens of thousands or even millions of dollars depending on condition. Because of stories like these, collectors never stop checking their change. Every jar of coins could contain something special. Even a simple penny from the 1990s might hide a valuable error that only a careful eye can spot. The 1995 double die penny remains one of the most well-known modern errors because the doubling can be seen without special equipment. A magnifying glass makes it even easier to identify. That is why collectors and beginners alike enjoy searching for this coin. Another reason the Lincoln penny is so beloved is its historical connection. For more than a century the portrait of Abraham Lincoln has remained on the front of the coin. Generations of Americans have carried this design in their pockets. Each coin represents a small piece of everyday history. In the world of numismatics, even the smallest coin can tell a powerful story. From the minting presses of the United States Mint to the hands of collectors across the world, the Lincoln penny has traveled an incredible journey. Many collectors today search bank rolls of pennies hoping to discover rare varieties. Others visit coin shows or browse online auctions looking for the best examples. The thrill of the hunt is what keeps the hobby alive. If you ever find a 1995 Lincoln penny, take a closer look before spending it. Examine the date and the lettering on the front. If you see clear doubling, you might have discovered a coin that collectors want. Even if the value is only a few dollars, the excitement of finding a real mint error is priceless. Coin collecting teaches patience, observation, and appreciation for history. A tiny copper coin may appear insignificant, but sometimes it carries a story worth far more than its face value, and that is why the Lincoln penny continues to fascinate collectors around the world. Somewhere out there, hidden in jars, drawers, and forgotten collections, rare pennies are still waiting to be discovered. If you enjoy learning about rare coins and hidden treasures, stay connected with our channel Coins, where we explore valuable pennies, historical coins, and incredible discoveries from the world of numismatics. The next valuable coin might already be in your pocket, just waiting for you to notice it. Today we are diving into one of the most fascinating stories in the world of coin collecting, the rare Lincoln penny. Many people overlook pennies because they seem small and common, but some of these tiny copper coins can actually be worth a fortune. Imagine finding a simple penny in your pocket change that could be worth thousands, sometimes even hundreds of thousands of dollars. That is the exciting world of rare Lincoln pennies, and today we are focusing on the 1996 Lincoln penny and the surprising value it can reach in today's collector market. The Lincoln penny has a long and interesting history. It was first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th birthday of Abraham Lincoln. This was the first United States coin to feature the portrait of a real historical person instead of a symbolic figure. The design was created by Victor David Brenner and quickly became one of the most recognized coins in American history. For more than a century, billions of Lincoln pennies have been produced, passing through the hands of millions of people every single day. Most people think all pennies are worth only 1 cent, but coin collectors know that certain dates, mint marks, and errors can turn an ordinary penny into a valuable collectible. Sometimes a rare minting error, a limited production year, or an unusual condition can make a coin extremely valuable. This is why collectors carefully check every penny they find. The 1996 Lincoln penny is especially interesting because while millions were produced, certain examples in perfect condition or with unusual mint characteristics can become valuable in the collector market. The coin features the classic portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the front. On the back, it shows the Lincoln Memorial, a design that was used on pennies from 1959 until 2008. This design became iconic and is familiar to people all around the world. When we talk about value in coin collecting, condition is everything. A penny that has been heavily used in circulation may still only be worth 1 cent. But a coin that has been preserved carefully with no scratches, no wear, and bright original shine can be worth far more. Professional grading companies evaluate coins using a scale from poor condition all the way up to mint state 70, which represents a perfect coin. Some 1996 Lincoln pennies that reach extremely high mint state grades can attract serious attention from collectors. These coins might look almost brand new, with sharp details and bright copper color. When coins like this appear at auctions, collectors compete to add them to their collections. The demand from collectors can drive the value much higher than the face value of the coin. There have been stories in the coin collecting world where rare pennies reached astonishing prices. Certain rare pennies from different years have sold for hundreds of thousands or even more. This is why people often search through their pocket change or old coin jars hoping to find a hidden treasure point. One of the reasons collectors love Lincoln pennies is the thrill of discovery. Because pennies have been produced in such huge numbers, many rare variations can still be hiding in everyday circulation or in old collections passed down through families. Sometimes people discover valuable coins in old piggy banks, jars, drawers, or inherited coin boxes. The 1996 Lincoln penny also exists with different mint marks. These small letters indicate where the coin was produced. For example, a D mint mark means the coin was made in Denver, while coins without a mint mark were produced in Philadelphia. Collectors pay close attention to these small details because some mint locations produced fewer coins or have rarer varieties. Another important factor that can increase the value of a penny is a minting error. Mint errors occur when something unusual happens during the coin production process. Examples include double strikes, off-center designs, or doubled letters. These mistakes can create unique coins that collectors find extremely desirable. Imagine looking closely at a penny and noticing that the lettering appears doubled or the design is slightly misaligned. To most people this might look like a defect, but to collectors it can mean the coin is rare and valuable. Mint error coins often sell for much higher prices because each one is unique. Collectors also pay attention to the color of copper coins. Lincoln pennies can be classified as red, red-brown, or brown depending on how much of the original copper color remains. A bright red coin that has been preserved perfectly is usually the most valuable. Over time copper naturally darkens, so finding a fully red coin from years ago can be quite rare. When a rare Lincoln penny appears at auction, collectors from around the world may compete to buy it. Auctions create excitement because the price can increase rapidly as bidders try to secure the coin for their collections. Some rare coins have reached values that surprise even experienced collectors. there are reports in the coin collecting community that certain extremely rare or high-grade Lincoln pennies have reached values close to $787,976.45 in extraordinary situations involving unique specimens or historical significance. These stories inspire many collectors to keep searching through their coins. The world of coin collecting is filled with stories of ordinary people discovering valuable coins by accident. Someone might receive a penny as change at a store and later realize it is a rare variety worth far more than 1 cent. Others might inherit a collection and discover that some of the coins are incredibly valuable. If you want to search for rare Lincoln pennies yourself, start by examining your coins carefully under good lighting. Look at the date, the mint mark, and the overall condition. A magnifying glass can help reveal small details that might not be visible with the naked eye. It is also important to store coins properly. Collectors use protective holders or coin albums to prevent damage. Touching coins too often can cause oils from your fingers to affect the surface, which may reduce their value. Proper storage helps preserve the coin's condition and keeps it attractive for collectors. Another exciting aspect of the Lincoln Penny series is that it connects collectors with American history. It represents a moment in time when it was produced. When you hold a Lincoln penny, you are holding a small piece of history that has traveled through many hands over the years. For many collectors, the thrill is not only about the money but also about the hunt. Searching through rolls of pennies, visiting coin shops, attending coin shows, and learning about different varieties can become an exciting hobby. The possibility of discovering a rare coin keeps collectors motivated. The 1996 Lincoln penny may seem ordinary at first glance, but in the right condition or with the right characteristics it can become a valuable collectible. This is why experienced collectors never ignore pennies. Every coin has the potential to tell a story and sometimes even change someone's life. If you enjoy learning about rare coins and hidden treasures, make sure to stay connected with the channel Coins, where we explore fascinating coin discoveries, market values, and historical stories from the world of numismatics. The next rare coin might already be sitting in your pocket, waiting to be discovered. Today we are diving into a fascinating story about one of the most talked about coins among collectors, the legendary 1997 Lincoln penny from the famous Lincoln cent collection. This small copper coin might look ordinary, but the truth behind some rare versions of this penny can surprise you. Some collectors believe certain rare examples could be worth thousands or even more depending on condition, errors, and rarity. The history of the Lincoln cent begins in 1909 when the United States Mint introduced a coin to honor the 100th birthday of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. The design was created by Victor David Brenner, whose portrait of Lincoln became one of the most recognized coin designs in the world. It was also the first regular United States coin to feature a real historical person instead of symbolic figures. For decades the Lincoln cent circulated through millions of hands. People used it for everyday purchases, rarely thinking about its potential value. But collectors knew that certain dates, mint marks, and minting errors could transform an ordinary penny into a valuable treasure. In 1997 the United States Mint produced millions of pennies at different mint locations. One of those locations was the Denver Mint, which marked its coins with a small letter D under the date. That is how the 1997 Lincoln penny was created. At first glance this coin looks like every other penny. It carries the profile of Abraham Lincoln on the front with the words "In God We Trust" and "Liberty." On the back you will find the famous Lincoln Memorial design, which was used from 1959 until 2008. But hidden among millions of these coins are a few special pieces that collectors search for every day. Some of these coins have minting errors such as double strikes, off-center designs, die cracks, or unusual planchets. When a coin with one of these rare characteristics appears in the market, its value can rise dramatically. Coin collectors around the world constantly check their pocket change hoping to find a rare example of the 1997 Lincoln penny. In average circulated condition the coin is usually worth only 1 cent. But when the coin is preserved in perfect mint state condition, graded by professional grading companies, the value can increase significantly. Professional grading organizations like Professional Coin Grading Service and Numismatic Guarantee Company carefully examine coins and assign them grades based on their condition. The highest grades are extremely rare because most coins get scratches or wear after years of circulation. A normal circulated 1997 Lincoln penny might be worth only a few cents. A high-quality uncirculated example could sell for several dollars. However, when a coin combines perfect condition with a rare mint error, collectors may be willing to pay hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Stories sometimes appear online claiming that certain pennies are worth unbelievable amounts of money. Prices like hundreds of thousands or even close to $1 million are usually connected to extremely rare error coins or unique specimens that appear only once in a lifetime. In the world of coin collecting, these stories fuel excitement and encourage people to search through their change jars and old collections. Imagine opening an old coin jar in your house and discovering a shiny 1997 Lincoln penny that has been sitting there for years. To most people it might look like a simple coin, but to a trained collector every detail matters. The shine of the copper, the sharpness of Lincoln's portrait, the presence of the Denver mint mark, and any unusual features could tell a much bigger story. Collectors often examine coins under magnification. They look for doubling in the letters, unusual spacing, or small die cracks that make a coin unique. Even a tiny minting mistake can turn a 1-cent coin into a collectible item. The market for rare coins has grown dramatically over the years. Auctions hosted by organizations such as Heritage Auctions and Stack's Bowers Galleries regularly feature coins that sell for impressive prices. While most 1997 Lincoln penny coins remain common, the rarest examples continue to attract attention from collectors worldwide. Another reason collectors love the Lincoln cent is its historical journey through American culture. For more than a century, this coin has witnessed wars, economic changes, technological revolutions, and everyday life across the United States. Each coin carries a small piece of that history. The portrait of Abraham Lincoln reminds us of a leader who guided the nation through one of its most challenging periods. Every time someone holds a Lincoln penny, they are holding a tiny piece of American heritage coin that many people ignore every day, a coin that often sits forgotten in jars, drawers, or old